Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here with us. Well, every time a match finishes 3-0, it looks like everything was just flowers coming from the sky, but no, it was hard work. I think that you saw a difficult match from the very beginning. A team of Chippa United closed in the back. They changed the structure. They had never played in the back five. It was the first time of the season they played in the back five. In the 5-4-1, trying to close all the ways to the goal. But it's curious because there's a moment I called Tepsa on the bench and I asked him, look, let's make one change. And he told me, yeah, Coach, I'm feeling we're going to score. And I said, okay, I give you 5 minutes. and it happened. So it means that the boys have a big commitment. That's why I want to tell this story. They have a big belief. They have a big and strong attitude towards the objectives that we have. It makes my job easier, gives me a little bit of peace despite the stress of playing matches in such a small period of time. But we've been enjoying the ride, and today I think we finish having a good game. The beginning of second half was again difficult. Also, we promoted changes in order to manage the game as much as possible and try to not lose the sense of scoring the third goal. That yes, that would give us the comfort of the result, but always at the same time looking to the players and who you have on the bench and who you have inside, who you can spare or who you should spare, in order to prepare immediately the next ones, because there are still 3 matches to play in 1.5 weeks. So it will be tough until the end, and we want to make the league good until the end. Of course, that we would like to secure as much as possible the results so that we are always in better position, but we know that we have to fight until the end, and that's what we're going to do.
We'll take questions from the floor. Please feel free to introduce yourself.
Coach, I'm thinking that perhaps you should be happy that it seems that the goals are now returning and you're scoring again more frequently, and it's not coming from one player, it's also like spread out, especially in the absence of Peter as well.
Yeah, of course that I get happy by having scores that go beyond 1-0, or of course. But I always say that we should score one more than an opponent, and if we could stay with 0 on our goal is fantastic. That doesn't mean that my attitude is not an aggressive and offensive one, but it means that I believe that teams are built around the capacity to play the 4 moments of the game, to understand the 4 moments of the game, and that's what the story has been telling us regarding the strongest teams. And that's how we arrived also on the Champions League final, because we were a very strong team in the 4 moments of the game, and that is prepared throughout the season. Not the moment you're going to play a match like that. We need to. No, it's the team that knows and understands the moments of the game. And I think Musa spoke about that on the flash interview, saying that he feels that the team is more capable to manage the different moments, to have and defending well allows you to attack good. Attacking very good prevents you from defending and helps you to defend better. And indeed, it's very important. Today, I think we were not so strong in the moment we lost the ball, because the opponent attacked very, very, again, with long balls immediately. It's more difficult to go in the front and press. But also the team is quite aggressive on the moment of losing the ball. Also not easy today to explore the counterattacks, because they stayed always with a number of players in the back, so there's not so much space. But the team is giving answers to the different problems that games are bringing. It's a completely different game from Cape Town. Cape Town, we had that defense in the half pitch, pressing us high. And here we saw first half where they were very low block. Then in the second one, they came already higher. And sometimes that change on the pattern of the opponent also brings you challenges. And I think that's also because of that, in the beginning of the second half, we were a little bit what's happening. Because suddenly they come from low block to a high block, and the team needs to react and to readapt. And also we need to reposition the pieces on the pitch. But as you were saying, yeah, I'm happy that we score goals, of course, because matches are won by goals, and that means that the boys are also playing with joy. That's something I told them today. Please play with respect for the game, but with big joy. Because joy brings freedom, brings them happiness, brings them the capacity to not feel the weight of needing to make a result, but making the result as a natural thing that comes from the way they play. That's always how I want to see the team. But let's looking forward for the next ones and thinking of just on the next one.
Coach, in some of these times, obviously Lucas was put on the bench today, perhaps obviously to rest him, future challenges. But is he in the right mental state now? Because a player like him not score for like, I don't know, 9, 10 games, it must affect him mentally. Maybe playing too hard now. It's just that type of thing. Every footballer probably goes through it once or twice in their career.
Look, I think that a player like Lucas, that is clearly the player of the league this season, that has expressed himself not only this year but this year he exploded the way he exploded. He just brings good things for the question is that sometimes people look at a player, and I'm not speaking about today, look at a player and or at him expecting goal after goal after goal, and they don't relate, or we don't relate with the moments that he promotes to the other ones. And I think what happened is that until 2/3 of the league, he was profiting of more spaces to play rather than the ones that he has now. And in the last games, it has been very narrow for him, with marking very strong, with 2-3 players around him. And he had to adapt a little bit the way he was playing, because now he plays more with more pressure, so more back for the goal, and he needs to play more for the team. But I remember last matches we were discussing that also among us, the way he found passes, the way he found connection passes to a third man, the way he made assists, the way he made even the situations that come for penalties or for whatever, like we had last match, is putting him in a way that probably will bring even a more complete Lucas in the future, because he's capable still to do what he was able before, but now he's been obliged to develop on him other things, and I think that will come naturally. That will be even more complete player. No, I think it will be. I've been hearing that probably, or he'll be elected the player of the season, and the stats he has, the numbers he has on the season are amazing, on assists, on goals, and the quality actions. I think he's a player that brings something different in the pitch. So I'm very happy to have him. Today was literally a question of managing. And I feel that the fact that we are now choosing it seems that they're choosing the player of the season also makes him want to show something that he doesn't need to show. He showed already a lot of times, and that will come naturally, for sure.
Thank you, Coach. Further questions?
Coach, just want to say, I think, can you talk perhaps about accolades as well? I think he's come into a place where now every game he's assisting. If he's not assisting, he's also scoring. He's become. How have you seen his progression in adapting to the team?
Look, we are a club that has a squad that has numbers, has many players, and sometimes the fact that one player is not performing has to do with the fact that there's some other that is performing in a high level, and puts a little bit shadow on the other ones. We say inside our locker room as coaches, we say there's a thin line in Sundowns between being very important and becoming a player that you don't use so much, because the balance in the quality is so big. There are a lot, so there's no big players and the small players. There aren't. That's why I always tell you that I feel comfortable to change players, because the answer they give is exactly according to the quality they have. And Salis was a little bit on the shadow, but if you remember, before he started playing in the last matches, every time he went inside the pitch, he also gave things. He scored, he gave assists, so he helped to change the matches. And for me, it was very comfortable to have him in the bench, because I knew that I had a player that when he was entering the pitch, he was always giving something. And maybe I was a little bit jealous myself by not lining up first 11 him, but by having him on the bench, because I was sure that I would have a player that would explode and bring things on the pitch when I was going to put him inside. But, I gave him an opportunity. He took it in the hands. And it's true, he's doing well. He's doing very well. I'm very happy. I'm very happy for him, but I'm very happy because his performance is affecting also positively the team. So there's a relation between everybody's work or individual work with the collective output or outcome that we have together. And I see more players appearing, but it has also to do with the moments of the season. There are moments one is more up, more down. Yeah, I'm happy that in the moment, most of all, we have a big commitment. The players are happy, they are anxious, they are living this with joy, they feel released, they feel they didn't accuse the pressure. So that brings also their best from each of them. But still I would like to have more players that I could give more time, more possibilities. But it's impossible because the rules of the game condition also the opponents we have to do, and we cannot, as much as we rotate, because we are doing some rotation, we cannot also rotate everybody, because also you will lose some of the lines that put us together and glue us in terms of behaviors inside the pitch. So we are doing it gradually in order to keep the team functioning, and I think we are doing well. And they are, most of all, they are doing well. They are doing well.
Coach, you just touched on rotating now, and does it maybe sometimes pains you that you have to leave Peter out, sometimes on the bench or out of the team completely, given the fact that he's so close to achieving a significant personal milestone of being the all-time leading scorer for South Africa?
There's no issues with Peter. No? Peter had a small question that affected him in terms of capacity to play. But I believe that Peter will be very, very quickly in the team, or at least with us in the group, if not already in the next match. Let's see. If not in the next one, for sure in the following one, Peter will be 100% available, because you saw him in the pitch. He was there dancing and jumping. But also he jumped and danced in the locker room in Cairo, and maybe that didn't help in that moment. But he was with such adrenaline that he didn't even feel the pain. But it was a small thing, very, very small. Peter is back.
Coach, two questions from me. The first one, you're talking about Lucas. Do you believe he's the right candidate to win the player of the season? Then again, with the results today, do you think he's done?
Look,
Sundowns waiting to open the champagne.
If we see the goals that he scored, the beautiful goals that he scored, the moments that he helped to carry the team forward, obviously that is always a team that promotes a player, but also Lucas had moments that he helped a lot the team. I think he's, for me, he's the favorite candidate. I don't see no one expressing such level that like Lucas did for so long. And even in the previous years, it's important. Of course, we relate with this season, but Lucas is a consistent player in the last years, and this season he expressed things that is very difficult to see, that have to do obviously with the work of the team, but also due to his own capacities. Yeah, I will be very happy because I think it's completely fair if he becomes the player of the season. Yeah.
Is the league done? Champagne.
Sorry?
Champagne is in the ice?
No. Big respect for what we have ahead. We have a match with Stellenbosch. That is always a very, very difficult team to play against. Then we have to play in Chippa, and we just had the news that the match will be played not in the big stadium, but in some other stadium. And then we still have to play Amazulu home. Of course, that we depend on us. Also, we know that our most direct opponent will play matches until the end of the month. So it seems that the championship was enlarged. So it allows them to play matches after we finish ours. What I think is not, in terms of sports questions, is not even a little bit beautiful. I think it should not happen like that. Every team should finish at the same time. But we need to focus on the next match. Next match, we need to, like the previous ones, fight to win. Collect, if possible, the 3 points, and then check what happened, because we know our opponent will not play on the weekend because they have the Nedbank Cup final. and then we have to play again on Wednesday, and from there we go. Nah, big respect for the competition. We'll try to do our best in order to collect as much points as possible, and when mathematically it will be done, then we think about celebrating. Until then, I will not allow no one to... We just celebrated today's victory, nothing more. And we go for the next one.
Last question.
Oh, my question was Peter's Ninja Birthday. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you. I like that. Thank you, coach.
Thank you very much to all of you.